HTB family, how's it going? Welcome to Hold the Ball. Hope you guys are well. Thanks again for tuning in. I appreciate it very, very much. Yes, this is Ball and All Chat, episode 28, Origin Edition, State of Origin Edition, where I'll give you guys my thoughts on all things Origin, but at the same time, I'll be also mixing it with a bit of, NRL, because that's just what we do. But in saying that, before I get into it, hit that intro. Alright guys, here we go. Thank you again for tuning in. I hope you're well. I hope that whatever you're doing in life, you're okay, you're happy, you're well. And I generally mean that. Sometimes life can get tough and all that stuff there. And, it's always good to lean on the good, to remember the good, and to keep pursuing the good. Ball and All Chat 28 Origin Edition. I'm just going to go through some NRL news. As well as Origin news, right? And then finish it off with a special announcement at the end. So 3, 2, 1. NRL drama, it is what it is. I think it was on Friday last week. I was just chilling. I was at work. I was relaxing. And then all of a sudden, I saw on Twitter and Instagram, a bomb, a drop. Quite significant, I think, anyway. Payne Haas said, I'm done. I want immediate release. Now, in saying that, I really thought to myself, this surely is not true. Or if anything, just because of how big the news was, I was actually really finding it hard to really understand or gauge what on earth was happening. So what happened was basically Payne Haas said he wants out of Broncos immediately due to, I'm not sure, at the time, people were saying money, but it's become more apparent that apparently it's because of years, as he said. First and foremost, my thoughts on it overall. How do I say this? As a rugby league fan, as a neutral, right, in this particular situation, I loved it in the sense that it just creates drama. We love drama. Why? Because A, it gives us something to talk about. B, because of just the circumstances it can bring. And I guess last one, C, the results of it, what happens. And obviously we all saw what happened when the Broncos suited up against the Titans. There was a plethora of boos so loud that I could hear it even here in South Australia. That's right, it was that bad. But in saying that, Payne Haas came after the game and he said that it rattled him. He doesn't really get rattled, but the boos did rattle him. Sorry, not to add the blues, there's a bit of a pun. But in saying that, I just thought to myself, just one interesting sort of dynamic, especially considering how good Payne Haas is. And some of you guys may look at me and disagree, but I think he's a brilliant footballer. And to be fair with you, Warriors are my team, and I would love to see him there, but it won't happen. But anyway, I digress. Enough of that. I think for myself, when it comes down to it, I think it was probably, I don't know, it's a few factors, because it's probably management. It's probably people in his ears. It's been revealed, he's got Sonny Bill Williams talking there. It's probably like a brain versus heart thing. Maybe in his heart he wants to stay with the Broncos. He loves the Broncos. Let's be fair. They took care of him when he was young, right? They took it. They gave him the contract and all that stuff. He's taking care of them, and they've taken care of him, right? It's been a mutual agreement of I think anyway of a good nature, of a good result. Now, in saying that though, I also need to, have a bit of a disclaimer here. We need to remember that at arguably the Broncos' worst ebb of their season, going back a few years ago, he was there punching his weight, right? He was there in the thick of it. You know what I mean? Like people need to understand that yes, they boo Payne Haas, and yes, they get annoyed, but you got to remember that this man was literally the best player on a week-to-week basis, just about every single week when things were not going right for them, right? And that includes when David Fifita was playing with him, right? So let's just, as much as we love to, always get involved in all that stuff, the emotions get heated. And hey, I don't know all about that supporting the Warriors, don't you worry. But at the same time, if you sort of just draw things back and you think about it, relax. It's a young man. He's only 22. We forget he's only 22 years old. This dude hasn't even hit his prime. It's sickening just how good he's going to be. But I think for me, it was just a bit of management, a bit of this, and I think it's probably just messed up. And I think for me personally, I don't know what happened, but part of me thinks that maybe his management were calling for him to be released louder than maybe he was. I'm not saying he didn't want to go, because Payne Haas, I'm sure, isn't, he makes his own decisions. but at the same time, I still think that maybe the management saw the quote unquote low ball offer and said, "No, let's go." And I think that's what happened. Now, fast forward to this weekend. It's just been recently announced that Payne Haas has said, "I am staying," which is beautiful news. It's great. It's good. It's everything you want to hear, right? As a Broncos fan, I'm sure, and I guess even for myself, as a neutral here, I think it's great news. Now, he's come out and he said basically that he's gonna stick with the Broncos. But then news also further elaborated that apparently he's going to be sticking until the end of this season at least, and then they're going to have some talks. Now, again, as to what happens, I'm not sure, but the fact that Broncos and Haas have managed to, calm the water, so to speak, I think is a great thing for all involved. And, especially the fans, right? Like, ultimately, this affects the club, sure. Obviously, it affects the player involved, maybe even the players, right? The friends and so on and so forth. But ultimately, this affects the fans, right? The fans who watch, who are passionate, and so on and so forth. So I'm actually happy for them, the Broncos, that things have been able to be, soothed. Though I want to go over this briefly. Apparently, Phil Gaskell has come out and just said that nobody wants the Bulldogs job. There's been, yarns of Flanagan saying he'll do it, but again, no official application. Look, for me, I'm just going to keep this short, sweet, and simple. If you look at the likes of Josh Adokar, Matt Byrne, who are there, David Bangai Jr., players who have a bit of impact on other teams, they are basically almost held to a standstill. And I'm not trying to throw stones here at the Bulldogs when I say this, so I'm going to be careful what I say. But the reality is, there was so much expectation and buzz surrounding the Bulldogs that I generally thought that they were actually going to make some waves. And I don't mean make the 8, but at least crash up in the 10th, 10th spot, 9th spot, just be thereabouts, laying a platform for next season. And now it looks like literally nothing has been laid. They actually look worse, just a bit. Well, yeah, they're worse, I would say, or if not equal to what they were last season. And it's actually quite a very telling, story here. And again, we'll feel good, stating that nobody wants a job. You can't blame them when you're carrying the Bulldogs. It's sort of like being given, and I don't mean this offensively, but it's like being given really bad working tools. You got a hammer that doesn't really hammer. You got nails that are crooked. You know what I mean? You got a screwdriver that is absolutely screwed. You know what I mean? You've got a drill that doesn't want to work. It's everything in a ruler that is crooked. You get what I mean? Like, things are just not working, and who wants to put themselves in that position where it gets to the point where you just need to walk out, either due to pressure or due to your own personal mental health? And again, I'm not trying to say that that's what happened to Trent Barrett, but obviously he walked out. It is what it is. So that Bulldogs job, good luck to whoever wants it. And I want to say this right now, okay? And you may not agree, but that's okay. That's what Ball and Chat is about. It's about the chat. It's about the yarn. I don't even think Craig Bellamy could fix this Bulldogs team. Think about that. Maguire, right? Michael Maguire. These things happening over there at the West's Tigers. We have, I guess, collectively all embraced their journey the last couple of years. Some of us feeling sorry for him. Obviously, some Tigers fans emotionally, just going through it. Going through the motions with this team here. This season as well, I thought it was actually really encouraging to see them, have their back-to-back win, which I thought was great for not only just the Tigers and their fans, but I think for rugby league in general. We need some good stories. We need teams to come out being well, successful, and all that stuff. And then all of a sudden, things haven't been going well. I guess, the Tigers and their most recent loss as well. Part of me thinks, I think MADGE might be a bit hard done by here in this example. But in saying that, when you got the likes of the Bulldogs, obviously, Trent Barrett going, and then you got the likes of the rumours surrounding the Warriors, I think it's only logical to think that, MADGE is next, and I think that's what's happened. So basically, reports are saying that, the Tigers are rumoured to basically be axing him pretty soon, especially when it comes to the mid-season review. If they're going to be reviewing that season and basing it on the coach, then he's gone. It's as simple as that. Though they got some memorable wins, there's still some losses there, which hasn't helped them. Now, again, you can say it's form, you can say this, coach, whatever you want to say. But I guess as the old cliche goes, at the end of the day, it's the coach who falls on the sword, right? It is what it is. We can look at players, and believe me, I say this as a Warriors fan. Don't you worry. We can look at the players, we can look at the staff. Ultimately, it's the coach who I think bears the brunt in most situations. So, look, here we go. Look, it's unfortunate. It's not great news, but it is what it is. So I'll just leave it at that. What happens to MADGE next, I'm not too sure. Is Munster's loyalty to Bellamy. So, we all know Munster, right? Cameron Munster, he's a very... He's a figure nonetheless. He's a character nonetheless in the game. People like him, people don't like him. He's done memorable things for the game. He's done not so memorable things for the game, right? In all facets, whether it be in the club or rep. But one thing about Munster, I think in particular, is that you can't deny he's a skilled player. Now, there's been a lot of talk regarding Munster and Dolphins potentially and where he goes from there. But Munster's come out and just basically said, no, if Bellamy stays, I'll stay. And I guess for me, I just wanted to bring out or emphasize the importance of how coaches can sometimes actually play a huge role in players. And I guess which comes back on the fact that, yes, ultimately, it does lay with the coaches, right? No matter how we feel, and it may try to defend, aka the coach and or players. It's not the players that, that the sword falls on. It's ultimately the coach, and obviously the coach gets the praise here. You can look at the Storm historically. They've been blessed with so many players. I don't mean blessed. Kronk, Smith, Slater, Galfusi, Inglis, Folau, Munster, Grant, Smith. I mean, goodness me. Gaia. Look, I'm not a Storm historian, but you get my point. But in saying that in every single player you name there's been one coach who's basically been through there, with them through it all, and that's been Craig Bellamy. The majority of the time anyway. And to be fair, despite how skilled these players are, they still, give their respects and dues to the coach, to Bellamy. I think for myself personally that, look, the statement that Munster made today is quite huge in the sense that, yes, coaches do play a huge role in players, and sometimes coaches can drive players away. Sometimes they can attract them, sometimes they can make them stay. It is what it is, but I just think it's really interesting to bring up the dynamic there, not only of Munster and the Storm, right? They're a brilliant team, whether you like to admit it or not, and I hate talking about it, but it is what it is. It's still interesting, though, to see just that unique dynamic between coach and player, and for Munster to come out and say that, you almost think that the Dolphins rumors are probably going to be put to bed now. And on top of that as well, we'll have to wait and see, because obviously I think his contract finishes for 2024, the end of 2024. We'll have to see what happens then. He could possibly go back to Queensland. I'm not too sure, but in saying that, like he said, so long as Bellamy's there, I'll be there as well. And again, it shows you the positive impact coaches can have on players, right? And obviously, you look at the flip side as well. The main event, Origin news. This is where I'll give you guys my thoughts on it. And again, there'll be a special announcement. So again, bear with me. This one here probably hits home for us Blues fans. The pressure is on Freddy Fittler, especially all these, I'll be up front, very strange, unique selections, all right, of the team. I myself am, like I said before, somewhat struggling to try and piece together what on earth he's done. But I look in saying that it is what it is. However, heading into this camp here, obviously Blues are the defending champs. And the reality is, there's a new kid on the block, and his name is Billy Slater. Yes, you're normally used to seeing him, wear the purple or the maroon or the green and gold. But this time, you're actually going to be seeing him in the suit, right? Directing the boys, directing the team, and telling them how to play. And for me, I think that's such a unique sort of story in rugby league. I mean, yeah, it happens, but especially in the Origin arena, particularly when you have Billy Slater in his first time ever, I think it's pretty interesting. For myself personally, for the pride and what's at stake, Fittler needs to understand the gravity of this. I don't mean this lightly, but he cannot lose game one. He cannot lose game one. There's no ifs, doubts, or buts. He just can't. Especially going back there, last year was all in Queensland. This year, he cannot lose game one. There's a lot of pressure on him. I get it, and I mean it. There is, but he can't lose it. However, in saying that, with the selections, look, it's a funny one to me, but I'll just leave it at that. But yes, the pressure is on Fittler. It is. End the story. So come on, Freddy. Are we rocking? Josh Adokar. Now, obviously, I could even say Josh Adokar as well as Jake Trbojevic. There's a question of loyalty. And is it bad, or how bad is it, I think, for you guys to mull over? Recently, we all know that, Josh Adokar, the FOXX, missed out, unfortunately, as well as Jake Trbojevic. Both those two players have been part of the dominant, New South Wales presence in the last couple of years. And now they've missed out. And sort of these questions of, was it either a form, was it tactic? And I guess underneath all of that is the lack of loyalty ultimately. I see it as a lack of loyalty. I personally would have picked Josh Adokar. It's not about this, it's not about that. I mean, ultimately, I just think Josh Adokar would have been the man for the job. However, in saying that, I see it in two ways. I get it, but, I get why the ball's been picked. But at the same time, you've got To'o there on the other wing. So again, for those saying it's height difference, I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't, because if it was height difference, then To'o isn't playing. But he is. And if it's formed, well, it's not to say that Josh Adokar's been, the FOXX has been lighting the stage on fire. But at the same time, it's not like he's been, crashing and burning too. He's been there I would say he's arguably the best player of the Bulldogs every single week. He's trying. And I just thought with some players, much like Gagai, in the sense that, sure, the club stuff may not be going well, but you put him in a Queensland jersey and he's a whole different player, right? Grows a new leg. And I just think Josh Adokar would fit in the same category, but no, he hasn't been picked. Now, Josh Adokar has been strong, and I think it's been powerful in the way he's responded. He's saying, I want to try and get back, as reported by Freddy. But in saying that, as to how true, I don't know, but he's taking it in good stead. However, in saying that, you look, and again, Jake Trbojevic in the same vein falls into this category, in the sense that he was there, he's won it, he's bled, he's cried, and yet again not getting picked. I as a Blues fan, I really look at this and I really look at it with a bit of disdain, in the sense that I don't like what Freddie Fittler has done. Like I said, I go back to the fact that he's under pressure. How does he cope with it? You know what I mean? If this goes horribly sour, game two may be a game of connected dots, and that's the last thing you want. So again, with Freddie Fittler, it's about his squad, who he's picked, and being confident with it. It is what it is. But yes, in terms of loyalty, I want to be upfront. I don't think it's there. But some people may argue and say, oh, well, it doesn't matter. Some people may say Josh Adokar has been great. For me personally, I just think in the Origin arena, there's some players who just meant to be there. Josh Adokar for mine, Jake Trbojevic for mine. Anyway, it is what it is. We see the calm before the storm. Billy Slater. I enjoy this guy, right? As a fullback, people call him one of the greatest of all time, or the greatest of all time as a fullback. I have always admired his game, the way he's been about his stuff, except playing for Queensland or Australia. That's just the reality. But or even the Storm, actually. Well, there you go. But look, in saying that, I'd be lying if I told you I wasn't looking forward to seeing how he performs in the Origin arena as the coach. I really believe that he's going to come in here with a fresh mind. I think he's going to bring in something that's unique, right? Unique in the sense that I think he's pretty competitive, but at the same time, he's going to be looking at things from his perspective, and to be fair with you, it's from a fullback's perspective, which again is unique in its own way. Now, I'm not saying he's going to look at the game like that, holistically as a whole, but just to think about it, he comes in with his own way of interpreting things, and it's from a position that, to be fair with you, is a position that overlooks everything, oversees everything, and for him to be at the helms of that, it's quite big, it's quite significant here. I genuinely believe the Maroons may have struck gold here, and we can't forget the other staff involved, right? I think Cameron Smith's involved, Jonathan Thurston. So again, you've got the big three there. You've got the big boys there with Billy Slater, but you get my point. There's just something special about Billy Slater. Now, he has no pressure, right? He's picked a young squad, a few rookies in there, a few, young players that are ready to, get the nose a bit bloody, so to speak. So again, you've got some young ones there who are just ready to give it their all. But at the same time, the beauty about it is that there's no pressure on them. So it's like as if you walk into a shop, you see anything you want and you buy it, and it doesn't matter because you're going to be fine because you got the money. It's sort of like that. He comes in, he's fresh, he's clean. The world's his oyster. Origin, baby. But looking, saying that, I'm actually looking forward to seeing how he goes. And, hey, I support the Blues. It is what it is. But at the same time, it doesn't mean I am not looking forward to seeing what the Maroons can produce. That's the reality, all right? I bleed blue. I am blue. you know, but at the same time, I see it in the sense that I like stories, I like drama. And I tell you what, Billy Slater being the coach, if he wins the series, I think Fittler goes. That's what I think. But I think ultimately, if he wins this, as Andrew John said, he's probably going to be coach in the NRL. And if he is, comes to the Warriors. Anyway, guys, hope you're well. Thanks again for watching. Take it easy. See you guys next time. Yes, this has been an Origin edition. And just quickly as well, the last bit of news, I'll be doing my Origin teams preview as well. Predictions and all that jazz. Going for the teams. Give you guys my own opinions on it. But yeah, that's been me for now. Take it easy. See you guys next time. And yeah, look, Origin's around the corner. And if your team wants to win, what do they have to do? Hold the ball. Take it easy. See you guys next time.